Welcome everybody to another episode of Scaranoia, and this week we got another banger episode for you. But real quick, we're gonna pause and we're gonna throw it to Jared because Jared is the one who inspired today's episode, which is what grinds your gears in horror. And Jared, I want to start this episode with you and tell me about trailers.
Okay, so first off, there's so many things in the horror genre that grinds my gears, but nothing more. And it's not just a horror movie genre thing, it's a movie thing. Trailers in 2024 and 2025 give too much away.
We're going to the past and then back to the future.
Spoiler alert, I came across the Final Destination's Bloodline trailer because TikTok just pushes that content out because they're ignorant. And it looks like shit, first of all. That's the first thing that we should talk about. My excitement level for Final Destination Bloodlines was wide up here after watching that trailer. I'm probably not even going to watch it. I'll watch it when it comes to streaming. Because it comes out on my birthday weekend. I refuse to waste my money and my birthday weekend watching a trash film. Let's be completely honest. But also, it just gave too much away. It shows, I guess it's going to be about tattoos and
I don't want the spoilers, Gary.
Way to spoil it for Crispy, brother.
Yeah, I'm excited for it because I haven't watched the trailer.
Well, it sucks to suck. It's all about tattoos and, piercings and stuff.
I'm so glad my best friend in the world wants to ruin this for me.
Don't watch it. Tattoos
Don't
and piercings.
waste his birthday weekend on it, Crispy.
That's right. It looks just bad. It was shot terribly. I don't know if it was just a bootleg version I saw on TikTok. It might have been. Maybe it was just leaked. Maybe that's why. It looked like it was filmed on the potato, first of all. And then also, another trailer that came out recently was Companion. And I have not watched it. I'm going to see it Saturday. And it just looked really, what I have heard, everyone told me do not watch the trailer because it gives way too much away. Way too much away, which is ridiculous. Kind of like Abigail last year. I don't know if y'all ever watched Abigail. I remember watching the trailer and it gave the biggest plot twist of it away in the trailer. And I don't understand.
What is Abigail about? What am I? I'm thinking Annabelle. Annabelle came out forever ago. Yeah.
Abigail is about these group of people that goes and visits this girl, and the trailer spoiled it. It's Dracula's daughter. I don't know, and they had that centered in the movie as a plot twist, right? That was the plot twist of the movie that was revealed in the trailer. I just think trailers give way too much stuff away. We don't need 3-minute long trailers. We don't need 2-minute long trailers.
30-second trailers.
Yes. 30-second teaser trailer.
Give you a little bit of a build, but leaves you wanting to see more.
What I always liked, especially for horror movies, were the trailers where it didn't show much of the movie, but it showed the audience response to it. You ever see those where they have the little
Paranormal Activity is a good one.
Yeah. Or white noise, stuff like that, where they show just a little bit of the film and then it's the audience freaking out, whatever.
Those were the best.
Which was fake reaction.
But it sells it. It makes you feel oh, that'll be
For
me.
sure.
I'll be scared,
I will say this, one recent trailer that I will give props to. It's a movie I despise, and it's a movie that I might be known for. Nosferatu. That movie sucked,
Best
but
movie.
It did not show Count Orlok at all in the trailer whatsoever. I would give Nosferatu that there was no spoilers there. That trailer made me so excited for the movie. That's how a movie trailer should be done, was how they did the Nosferatu.
So are you saying you got bait and switched by Nosferatu because the trailer got you excited? So shouldn't you be happy at the trailers that ruin the movie so that way you don't go watch trash movies?
I mean, I guess. But I don't know. It's 2025. We don't need 3-minute trailers. If there are any movie studios watching, quit doing it. Just do 30 seconds. That's all we need.
I know you're
or
watching.
none at all. Or none at all.
Give us some eerie music with words coming at you.
They have to have trailers. They have to. How else are you going to sell a movie? What else is going to build buzz?
I will say this: the new Jurassic Park trailer came out, and I had to watch it after how bad Dominion is. Super excited for Jurassic World Rebirth in July.
So, like, I can't speak to horror as much because I kind of gave my 2 cents on that. But it's like, the way I look at it is comedy trailers. I hate movies that are comedies that ruin, like, all the best jokes. They use, like,
Exactly.
the 5 best jokes from the entire movie are in the trailer.
Action movies, the best scenes are always in there. Like,
Yeah.
I guess that's the whole point is don't use so much of the main plot points. I mean, like back in like, I remember being younger, like a teenager, and the trailers you'd get a couple like key points, but it would be some banter.
It was a
amongst-
dude talking like this. Are you in a world where there's a dude that looks like a ball sack and has a metal hand? In a world where Michael Myers looks like he's here to do your laundry. I don't know what the fuck he's there for. I don't know what he wears. That voice fucks me up, bro.
Yeah.
But no, I get you, Jared. I actually agree with this. I don't agree with it 100%, but I agree with it 40%. They have to have trailers.
Yeah, but this Sunday, which boycott Super Bowl because both teams suck. But anyways, I'm gonna watch it. Everybody's gonna watch it. There's gonna be way too much. All them trailers that are gonna happen in the Super Bowl is gonna give everything away.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna put holes in my wall. Next week's Scaranoia episode, if I see like, oh, Dr. Ian Malcolm's gonna be in Jurassic World Rebirth, or like we just see a bunch of spoilers for I Know What You Did Last Summer, or something like that, or they give the teaser trailer for Scream 7, which also, to go on a tangent real quick, Scream 7 just announced Matthew Lillard and Roman Bridges actor being in the movies. What the hell's going to happen in that? I wish they didn't announce it, honestly. I get it, though. It's a desperation tactic after what they did to Melissa Barrera. You know, they want all the people in the world to go see their film after being a shitty studio. But why announce it? Why the studios? Like it's not even trailers now anymore. They're announcing all these big name actors to appear in movies, and it ruins the surprises. It's like WWE announcing Joe Hendry in the Rumble this past weekend. If they would have done that, there would have been no pop.
Reminder that Jared broke the news of Matthew Lillard being in Scream 7 right here on the Scaranoia channel. Jared's like, I got it ruined. Fuck you. Jared's like, as soon as it got spoiled for me, I'm spoiling it for you.
That's right.
Hashtag get fucked. Hashtag Jared knows best. That should be your channel, Jared. Jared knows best.
Oh,
That should be the channel. And then
What you gotta do, brother?
Jared knows best, and then you just tell everybody what the reality of things are and what things actually should be like. Crispy, what is your final thought on the trailer scenario?
I think I'm on both sides. Trailers are definitely important, but I think they need to go back to having maybe one or two mid plot points, like big things happen, but then fill the rest with, other stuff to not give away every single major event that's going to happen. Because I agree with Jerry. I used to watch them all the time. And then when I started to realize, oh my God, okay, I've seen everything to expect minus the final scene, it makes it not fun because you're watching the movie and you're like, oh, this is building up to, oh, I saw that in there. So
you're saying we need the In a World guy back. In a world.
Yes,
where
we need him back, yes.
In a world where you put biscuits and gravy together.
Yes.
I don't know what he said. He said stuff like that. Okay, so trailers, important, but need to change them up. I agree with that. So I'm like 75% on the Crispy bandwagon. 40% of the Jerry bandwagon. But overall, I do think, I don't know, sometimes the trailer is iconic. I don't know. I remember back and I'm just like, some trailers are just super cool. And I'm like, oh man, that's the coolest trailer for a movie I've ever seen. I don't know. Because I feel like you can go about it in a very cinematic way that makes, like you said with Nosferatu, you can go about it in a way that makes you very excited about the movie without ruining it. So I think it's a balance. I think that's where I'll go with. We need more balance.
Yes.
So Jared, what else pisses you off? What else do you got going? in horror world.
Okay. So, number one, horror talk pisses me off.
Okay.
Like, that's the first thing. But we went over that like a million times.
Okay.
But also, like, some of the biggest horror tropes that just irritates me.
Okay.
A girl getting chased, then just runs up the stairs. Like,
Damn it, that was one of the things I was going to say. The running to the second
like
story
how many?
and having to jump out a window.
I watched Scream the other day and posted a review, which you can find on Z Jared Holmes on TikTok and everywhere. But so Drew Barrymore,
Okay.
opening scene, gets the call, runs up the stairs. Like, why run up the stairs? Run out the front door. It's literally right there. The staircase is right there. Front door is right there. Oh, I ain't gonna run out the front door. I'm gonna run up the staircase. Like, and it's not just Scream. Like, it's so many times over and over and over.
Well, because Scream
like,
leans into the tropes. Like that's the
For
good
sure.
part
That's
about
definitely
Scream.
the whole point. But
Yeah.
That's the one I just watched that just recently just made me really think about that. And it's annoying. Like, it was cool the first 677 times, but the last 697 times in slasher movies, whenever a girl's running up the steps, instead of running out the front door, it's hard to suspend your disbelief.
I
in
think
that
that's
era.
that's one thing I loved about Scary Movie was when they were parodying Scream, and it was like the crossroads. This way to safety, this way to danger, and she runs to the danger. Or to death, or like something like that. I was like, I love that they made fun of that.
I think one of the things that always has annoyed me is like when they run outside, then they fall. You know, like it's always like, oh, they trip
that's a good
randomly.
one, too.
I hate that. I hate that. I also hate the right when they think they're like, oh, finally they're not chasing me anymore, and then they're like right there. Like I always hate that. Like because it's like the same thing every time.
I agree. Also, when they're in the kitchen and they're just flailing their arms, throwing random crap, it's like, come on. There's a fucking frying pan right there. You could have easily just picked that up. But no, you're flinging pots and like silverware and mugs.
Or if you have a weapon and you throw it. I feel like that's like a common thing. Like you like have like a knife and they like throw the knife at them. Like, no, why would you? Now you don't have it. Like, why would you do that?
Also, I'm sick and tired of horror movies being an advocate for Mr. Garrison. Sex is not bad, McKay. Like, I'm so tired of them.
McKay.
I'm tired of them portraying sex in a bad light. Sex is amazing. Sex is great. But, like, if you have sex in a horror movie, you're done.
Yeah.
No BJs at Camp Crystal Lake. That's like Jason's, like, fuel. You know what I mean?
Okay.
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 I can't
Okay.
laugh. That's not. Stop it.
Okay.
That's one of my least favorite tropes in horror movies.
Okay. Okay. Now it's gonna be stuck in my head. Okay.
We gotta stop laughing because I've lost most of my voice. I don't know if you can hear that. So every time I laugh, I sound like a dying. Like I remember the squeaky toy from Toy Story 2, Wheezy. That's what I sound like.
Yeah. So you're Wheezy Tizzy? Is that what we're going for? Tizzy and Sniffy? Wizzy. So anyway, Crispy, what upsets you about horror?
PG-13 horror movies. They are the absolute worst. Every PG-13 horror movie I've ever seen, every kill is off camera. You don't get any of like the blood and the gore. Like to me, horror movies should be
No boobs either.
What?
He said no boobs.
No boobs either.
No boobs. There you go. No boobs, no sex. Like
The
stuff
boobs
that
make horror. Is that like?
I'm not saying boobs make
Yeah,
horror.
I think so.
Not look.
I do. I agree. I think it does. I think, like, okay, slashers.
Like they do have a connection between like taboo content and slashers. I
Yeah.
feel like that
But
they
I'm
kind
saying,
of go
like-
campy content.
But like the main thing.
Like, I'm tired of the Terrifier franchise having no boobies. I'm sorry, Chris.
no, they did. What are you talking about?
Yeah, once. One pair of boobies in the Terrifier franchise is
Is that when he cuts
ridiculous.
the girl in
Come
half?
on, Damien Leon.
Yeah, okay. So I was like, yeah, they're
Terrifier
definitely. Crispy, continue.
Terrifier
But
3
look,
coming on Screenbox.
Look, I'm just saying, kills make horror movies, especially if it's a slasher flick. Me and Jared watched, what was it, Time Cut? Was it Time? Yeah, it was Time Cut. I think
Time
that's what it
Cop?
was
I
called.
believe.
Anyways, we
Time
watched it,
Cop's a good
and
movie.
every time, right, it was a slasher flick. It had to do with time travel, but every time the killer killed somebody, it pops up and it's like knife, person screaming, camera jumps to the other people. All of a sudden, they find the friend, and the friend is dead. What is the point? All horror movies should be rated R. I don't
I
think.
have a counter to this, by the way.
Okay, what?
So, two things. I don't know if they're rated PG-13 or rated. I don't think they're rated G. I don't think it's possible. But Goosebumps was a banger. Every Goosebumps was a banger.
Yeah.
Is that PG-13 horror or is it rated G horror or something?
PG,
PG.
yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I'd
something
say.
like that. But anyway, bangers.
But they weren't closely okay. I guess I'm more talking in the realm of a slasher
Da,
flick.
da, da,
I'm talking in the realm of slasher
da,
flicks,
da.
okay? Goosebumps was not slasher, it was more like paranormal, I guess.
I'll take that. As long
know-
as you respect the bump.
Oh, I do, of course.
Okay.
I still watch those to this day, and some of them still freak me out. Like,
Bro, Are You Afraid of the Dark?
oh, dude.
Did you ever watch that?
Yes.
Bro, I love
That-
you. I submit for your approval or whatever.
Yes.
Yep. Dude,
Oh
that
my
was,
God, I missed
that's
that
what's up right
show.
there. Yep.
That was such a good show.
I'm telling you, bangers.
Dude,
and that
the
was
90s
creepy.
It was. For
And that was
sure.
creepy. Even not just little kid creepy. That was like adult creepy. Because I remember
some of that
going back
stuff you
later
watch
on and
today,
watching it
they're
on
just like-
YouTube. I've watched some of it on YouTube again just to be like, oh, whatever. There was one where like the kid went into like this magic store or something. I remember all that. And I'm like, this is super creepy. This is still creepy today. But yeah, as long
yeah.
as we respect the bump and the Are You Afraid of the Dark.
Okay, so PG-13
we're good.
slasher flicks. Let me be very
All right,
specific.
I'll take that.
Those should not exist.
Take it.
Slasher flicks should be rated R only because
Okay, I'm fine with that.
the kills in slasher flicks are what make the movie, and it pisses me
Okay.
off if we don't get to see those kills.
I also
You just about to make me go on a rant because Killer Clowns from Outer Space is PG-13, one of the greatest horror movies of all time.
So I'm glad I clarified. Okay, because I wasn't
There you go.
thinking PG-13 horror slashers.
better clarify like butter. Anyway, I agree though. The one thing too is I always am fully a believer in the concept of if you don't see someone die, they're not dead.
That's where I have a problem. I'm like,
No.
you're leaving it up to our imagination. We see them laying there in a pool of their blood. I don't see wounds though. You never see like the throat
No.
slit, the stabs. Like, for all we know, they could pop back up to life. And if they were to do it
Could
that
be.
way, sure, I'm all for it because we're picking up on this. But no, they don't. They never do.
Okay.
Also, can horror movies stop relying on jump scares to be scary? Like,
I was going to
jump
talk about
scares
this
are
too, so I agree
overplayed.
with that.
So overplayed. I'll let you speak on it and I'll speak.
No, I'm just saying that says it all for me. I feel like relying so much on jump scares because it feels like, especially after like the first one. Okay, so if there's like one, maybe two in the entire movie and they're well placed,
Facts.
okay. But if that is what you were relying on as your primary source of scares. After the first couple, you're like, now I'm just waiting for it, and now it's just annoying more than anything else. Like it
When
happens
they're
at the
used
dumbest times.
properly and proportionately, it's magic. But like you
Yeah.
said, if it's overused and overdone,
It's like, oh, they closed the silverware drawer, and it was like a jump scare of them closing the drawer super loud, or like the kids in the hallway.
That's literally the entire Conjuring franchise. It's literally nothing but a bunch of cheesy jump scares.
And
Same as Paranormal Activity. Sorry.
Bro, it's not jump scares. It's a demon. Okay, it's a demon doing
demon.
demonic things. A demon doing demonic things. Okay. So I agree with you for the most part, except for the part where you're drastically wrong by slandering Paranormal Activity. But I do agree. If it's something where like, again, if you go to the well too many times. But if there's one or two super good ones, and that is in conjunction with, really good, tension and scares, and it's built up, and it serves a purpose for the story, then that's another thing. So I'll let you get into this, but my other huge thing that I hate is probably something Jared loves. But Jared, if you have more to say about jump scares, say about it. And then I got my next one.
Well, I want to say one thing I loved about jump scares,
Sure.
just to be not so it ain't all negative. So, Scream 6, as much as it's a shitty movie, has one of the most amazing jump scare sequences of all time. So Ghostface comes into this apartment, and this person opens the refrigerator door, right? Grabs out, I can't remember what they got out, drink, whatever. Closes the door. You expect Ghostface to be behind there, right? You know, that's a common trope. Shuts it, no. Then he goes to open his bathroom door. You think, oh shit, Ghostface is going to be in there. Nope. Then he takes a shower. Like, it's all done in one take, too. Takes a shower, gets out of the shower, goes to open the door to come out of the bathroom. Not there. Then he goes to the bed, lays down. You think, oh, well, what the hell? He goes to roll over thinking it's his girl over there. It's fucking Ghostface. One of the best jump scares of all time.
That's pretty dope.
I will say that.
Not gonna lie, that's pretty dope.
All done in one take. Like I said, I hate jump scares. I think they're way overused. I agree with the one, maybe two. But whenever they're done to perfection like that, hell yeah.
Well, and see, like
13
I said,
Ghosts also.
13 Ghosts is an underrated movie.
Amazing.
That's an underrated movie.
I agree. I love 13 Ghosts. It has a really good jump scare in there, too.
It has, really good... Well, okay. But they also were a big fan of using the thing where, the ghosts would, jump out. I feel like they kind of overused it a little bit, too. In some of the elements of how they did it. Because you put the glasses on and then, I don't know. I was but I agree. 13 Ghosts, super underrated movie, though. Phenomenal movie. But where you said with Scream, though, they really built into that jump scare, and that's the whole thing I'm saying. If it serves a purpose, and if it's serving the story by building into something, that's an entire another beast in general. But one thing is probably the biggest thing that I hate about horror, and when done well, it's good. Okay, but
I know what it is. I can already tell. I already know what it is.
What is it?
I feel like you're gonna say gore.
It's gore because I like gore when it's done well. But okay, a gore for gore's sake movie, the only one that I would kind of say I can lean into it is Terrifier. When cuz it fits his character so well. It makes sense when he does it. Mm-hmm. But when some of these other movies, it's just so cheesy. It makes the movie just not fun. It's just this is lame. I don't know.
I love it, man.
I don't know. There's just something about it that just makes it very campy. Just makes it very what's the point? You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. It just immediately, it kind of just makes the movie less enjoyable.
Sometimes it feels like it's overused in a sense that you don't need it to be that gory, but they overdo it because they see you see stuff like Terrifier where the gore is overdone, it's overused, but in such a good, like you said, the character way. It adds to the artistic side of it where it plays well with the character, the story, the movie. So all these other people that are doing it, they're we want to match the levels of that. It's you don't need to do that. You can dial it back and it'll still be just as good.
Well, it's the whole thing I said with jump scares. If it serves the rest of the story, and that's why I say with Terrifier, yeah, it's gory, but Art is just such a unique character, and it fits. And I like how you said the artistic side of it because that's what it feels like. It's artfully done. No pun intended for Art the Clown. But when I look at some of these other movies, I'm they're just trying to get that shock value out of it, and it falls so flat for me because if you don't have the rest of it, if you don't have the character elements, if you don't have the other scare factors and your only scare factor is the amount of gore that you have, I don't know.
Tell me you both have a weak stomach and can't handle gore without telling it.
Bro, I can
Gore
watch
is
it.
amazing.
I just think it's not like, oh, I can't watch it. I think it's lame. Like, I just think it's cheesy.
Yeah, but what I will say about it, I will say not every movie needs it, which not every movie does. But I love these shitty movies that are not good, like these independent films for the most part. Like 95% of independent films, like they need to rely on gore. But also, are you talking about practical effects gore, like practical gore, or CGI gore, or both?
I'm talking about more so CGI gore, but I'll also say practical effects.
I agree with that.
Like, I think more so it's just if that is the only source of horror, is how much gore they put in it. And I'm like, there's nothing else to this. Like, what is, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what my problem is. I want
That's kind of like the sadness.
I want tension. I want to feel something. Gore doesn't make me feel anything. I don't know what that says about me as a person, but like gore doesn't make me feel scared or feel anything. It makes me just feel like, oh, this is a waste of my time. Like I want that that where I can suspend my disbelief. I feel like as soon as it gets super gory, I can't suspend my disbelief. That's what it is. That's really what it comes down to. At that point, I'm like, all right. Like this is just a cheesy movie.
I could see that. I enjoy it just because I think it elevates everything. Like you see somebody get dismembered, it just elevates the tension for me personally.
I think if it's done well, yeah, I'll agree with that. Like again, we talk about Terrifier. Like,
dude, y'all's not ready for Terrifier, so y'all thought
because I've seen 1 and 2, but yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, when it's done well like that was even over the top. That was insanely over the top. But it made me feel like art was just insane. Like, it, you know what I mean? Like, it really built his character for me. And I feel like that's the perfect example of where it doesn't bother me when there's a lot of gore.
How about a movie like Saw?
So, okay, the first Saw I liked a lot, but later on, when it just kind of became gore porn, then I was like, this isn't... I didn't feel like it was that cerebral thriller anymore. I felt like it was just for the sake of seeing how sadistic it could be. And then at that point, it just wasn't as fun for me anymore.
I can see that for sure. I personally like it, you know.
No.
You're into that.
I think it.
Well, there's obviously a market for it. I mean, those movies do super well. I'm just saying, like, my personal preference, like, the first Saw movie for me is, like, almost a perfect movie. Like, I love that movie.
Sure.
It has a great twist. It had really good, like, mystery and thriller elements. Like, again, it's not, like, the most horror movie, but it did have the reverse bear trap. Like, it had, like, these cool, you know, elements to it that you'd never really seen before. And it was kind of this, you know, sadistic killer that was kind of...
biggest shock in horror movie history. Like...
yeah. But, like... if they had gone as deep in the first one as they did even the second one with the amount of like random gory traps or like the needle traps and stuff like that, like I don't know. I just felt like they were escalating because they had to. You know what I mean? It wasn't like
each one tried to outdo the other for sure.
And I feel at a certain point it's like, is this serving the story or is this you're just trying to one up what you did before?
Understandable. Like I said, I love gore. But also, like, I see your point. Like, there is sometimes where I'm like, did that need, like, especially with the Terrifier films. Like, I love them. But does every single kill need to be, like, this big gore fest? Because which, I mean, yeah, they always have that one kill that you remember. But there's some other kills that's really good that you don't remember because every single one of them is bloody and gory.
Yeah. That's another thing. It does take away from like those more special moments from the movie in general when you have so many of them. That is true. That's a point I didn't even think about. But I don't know. I think about like traditional slashers, and I'm like, I don't know. Call me old fashioned. I like when my slashers just freaking stab somebody and then they move on.
Same.
Like they just live their life. Because I felt like, man, that dude's a badass. Like, oh shit, like that's scary to me because that's like realistic.
They just come up behind you, just
yeah.
That was my shit.
That was your shit?
That was my shit.
Are you admitting to something?
Oh, snap. Crispy
What are you, a
admitting
cop?
to.
Agent Brett.
I want to
Agent
know.
Brett.
Okay, so here's my other thing that bothers me in horror. Okay, when somebody disappears and then they come back, and you feel like there's something different. Because I'm still wondering which Chris we have.
True.
Because there were two of you.
This could be a.
There were two of you, and your hair looks immaculate now. It did not before. Somebody's been cooking.
It's called getting a haircut. You know,
Somebody
sometimes you
cooked
gotta-
here.
Sometimes you gotta have a self-care day. You know, get the nice little lineup, get the fresh haircut.
I don't know
like,
what that is. I don't do that.
you know. Well, it's because somebody told you they
don't
liked
have
your
no
hair
hair to do
longer and
that.
you grew it out.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe that's possible.
Jared wants to look like an extra in Super Troopers 3.
Jared wants to look like Ball Plart.
Oh, what? Fuck. Can't laugh.
Yeah, I need to do a 4-block cosplay. I hear it all the time now.
You look like Paul Blumpkin.
All bluffing.
Okay. Okay. That was the jump scare I needed. Was that Jared laugh? That is the. I need to cut that. And if I ever stream again, that's going to be my follower alert. Whenever someone follows, it's just Jared going. Every time I get a sub. Okay. We got 32 minutes in. Anybody else want to talk about things that bother them in horror?
I have one small last one
Okay.
that I just want to speak on. The killer coming back for one last scare. Overplayed, overdid. Let's cut it out. It's 2025. It's not 1975 no more. We don't need those.
Paranormal Activity.
Wait, so then the first
I'll
three
agree with
Scream
that one
movies,
for
Jared,
Paranormal Activity.
No,
I will
the
agree
four,
with that
the
one.
first four Scream movies.
All of them. All
Do
of
they
them.
all
All
have
the
that?
Scream movies.
They all had that little like.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, there's always they always come back once.
But also they play on it.
That's-
It's different with the Scream franchise. They play on it. Like they do that as like it being meta.
Yeah.
Not meta like not who
Who
owns
bought
TikTok,
TikTok?
now.
They're listening.
Yeah, they're gonna buy YouTube soon. They're gonna buy
Please
Scaranoia.
no. Please no. Please
This is
no.
the new Disney.
No, I get that there. And that does happen in Paranormal Activity. And that is one of the things that I'm not saying paranormal. I do love Paranormal Activity. I love all the movies. Well, the last one is whatever. But I love all the other movies. Okay. But that is a common trope that I'm not like a huge fan of. So.
Paranormal Activity would be, I bet you, like really good to someone that was blind and deaf.
Oh, yeah. I imagine it would be, as it would be to everyone else. True. Factual. I'm glad that you can see even the blind and deaf would enjoy Paranormal Activity. What was that budget to grossing? Was it highest like ever in horror? Like there's never been a horror movie that's beat that from their budget to what they've grossed. So, just
But which,
tuck that under your pillow at night when you're thinking about your lame ass horror movies that you like Scream. What was better than Scream? All the movies that made fun of Scream. Scary Movie was more iconic than Scream. Scary
You hear the
Movie
Scream
is
fan.
more pop culturally relevant than Scream.
Scream fans, you hear this, right? Y'all know what to do.
Scary Movie is more
Send
over
death threats.
than Scream. Just saying. That's my takeaway from this.
You have to.
Paranormal Activity. Okay. This has been an episode of Scaranoia. You watched it. We said the things. And we'll be back next week. Apologies for being a day late, but we were not $1 short.
It's $2 short.
$2 short. I'm underscore just whatever underscore Chris 91.
Yeah.
The Jared Holmes. Who cares? Okay, we'll see you guys next week. We love you guys.